Blackhead prevention begins with patience, not force. Blackheads form when oil, dead skin cells, and everyday debris collect inside a pore, and the top of that plug darkens after exposure to air. They are not a sign that someone is dirty, and they usually do not improve when the skin is scrubbed harshly. In fact, rough treatment often leaves the skin more irritated, more reactive, and harder to manage. A calmer routine usually works better than an aggressive one. Wash the face gently in the morning and again at night with a mild cleanser and lukewarm water. Avoid very hot water, harsh scrubs, rough brushes, and the urge to attack the skin as if it were a stain that could be polished away. If makeup, sunscreen, sweat, or daily buildup is sitting on the skin at the end of the day, remove it properly before bed. Lightweight products are often a better choice for skin that clogs easily, especially around the nose, chin, forehead, and jawline. Moisturizer still matters, even when skin feels oily, because uncomfortable, over-dried skin can become more reactive. If the skin tolerates it, ingredients that help loosen clogged pores may be useful, but the real key is consistency. Starting slowly and staying steady is often more helpful than using too much too fast. Squeezing blackheads with fingernails or tools may feel productive for a moment, but it often leads to irritation, marks, and a habit of touching the face too much. Hair oils, pomades, and heavy styling products can also quietly contribute to clogged pores around the forehead and temples, so it helps to keep those products away from facial skin whenever possible. Pillowcases, hats, and phone screens do not need to become a source of anxiety, but keeping them reasonably clean supports a better environment for the skin. Blackhead prevention is not dramatic. It is a quiet habit, a calm routine repeated long enough to help the pores stay clearer and the skin stay less irritated. And now, with that practical skincare advice tucked away neatly like a clean towel in a bathroom cabinet, let us step away from cleansers, mirrors, and cotton pads and move into the longer, warmer part of the evening, where instead of talking about pores, we find ourselves in a small American town full of pie, folding chairs, volunteer confusion, and one retired man who accidentally becomes far more important to local happiness than he ever intended. In the town of Larkspur Hollow, Indiana, 74-year-old Stanley Mercer believed that most of life's problems could be traced back to poor planning, weak coffee, and people saying yes when they absolutely should have said no. He had held this view for decades and saw no reason to soften it now. Stanley was a retired hardware store manager, which meant he had spent most of his life helping confused people find the right screws, the wrong paint, and the courage to pretend they understood power tools. He liked order, labels, and the deep moral comfort of a garage where every wrench had a home. He disliked being rushed, being volunteered, and being told something would be easy by a person holding a clipboard. He lived alone in a trim white house with navy shutters, a front porch with 2 rocking chairs, and a backyard bird feeder that he monitored with the seriousness of a federal wildlife program. His wife, Ruth, had died 5 years earlier. Since then, he had arranged his days carefully. He rose at 6, coffee by 6 to 10, newspaper by 6:15, toast and eggs by 7, a walk if the weather was respectful, lunch at noon, a short nap he called, resting his knees, supper at 5:30, dishes by 6, porch until dark, bed by 10. It was a decent life, predictable, manageable, clean-edged. What Stanley did not often admit, even to himself, was that predictability can become a very quiet kind of loneliness if left unattended too long. The chief danger to Stanley's quiet life was his neighbor, Mavis Langley. Mavis was 71, broad-smiled, quick-footed, and possessed of the sort of community enthusiasm that should have required licensing. She wore bright cardigans, low, sensible shoes, and glasses on a beaded chain that made her look like a woman prepared to read, organize, and correct anything that crossed her path. She chaired the church dinner committee, ran the library book sale, co-led the town winter coat drive, and believed deeply that every person had something valuable to contribute, whether that person agreed or not. On a cool Thursday afternoon in late October, Stanley was sitting on his porch with a mug of coffee and a wedge of crumb cake when Mavis marched up the walkway carrying a foil-covered casserole dish and a tan folder. Stanley took one look at the folder and said, "No." Mavis stopped at the bottom step. "I haven't even spoken. You have a folder. I also have tuna noodle casserole." "That means the folder is serious. That means I came prepared." "For what?" "For your refusal." Stanley leaned back in his chair. "Then you understand the situation." Mavis came up the steps anyway, set the casserole dish on the porch table, and sat down like a woman who had long ago decided invitations were decorative. "The Autumn Fellowship Festival has a problem," she said. Stanley closed his eyes for one brief second. Larkspur Hollow's Autumn Fellowship Festival was the town's yearly event in the church social hall, a cheerful evening involving casseroles, raffle baskets, folk music, pie, paper leaves, and more folding chairs than seemed strictly constitutional. Stanley attended every year for exactly 40 minutes, drank one paper cup of coffee, complimented one cobbler, and escaped before anyone could ask him to move furniture. "What sort of problem?" he asked. The MC canceled. "Why?" His daughter scheduled a family dinner in Fort Wayne. "That sounds legitimate." He also said he was not really a stage person. Stanley nodded. "That sounds wise." Mavis ignored him. "So naturally I thought of you. Why would you do that?" "Because you speak clearly, people trust you, and you are funny." Stanley stared at her. "I am not funny. You are after 70. Dry counts. I sold hammers and paint thinner. You spent 42 years explaining bolts to men who thought confidence was a substitute for measuring. You can handle a microphone. That is not the same as wanting one. You do not need to entertain. Just welcome people, introduce the musicians, announce the raffle winners, and keep the evening moving. That sounds like work wearing gravy. That sounds like community. That sounds like trouble in church shoes." Mavis smiled. "You'll be good. I'll be reluctant. That is not a skill. It should be. She tapped the folder. I may already have written your name in pencil. Stanley looked at the casserole dish. You volunteered me before I agreed? In pencil, she said. I'm not unreasonable. No, just efficient in a way that alarms me. Tomorrow at 6. And if I refuse, I'll tell people you were intimidated by a microphone and decorative burlap. Those are not equal threats. Together they form a believable rumor. So that was how Stanley Mercer, retired hardware man and committed defender of quiet evenings, became the emergency host of Larkspur Hollow's Autumn Fellowship Festival. For the next day, he prepared as if he were about to moderate a summit between rival pie factions. He found his navy blazer, the one reserved for weddings, funerals, and dinners, where the napkins were folded into shapes. He polished his loafers. He wrote note cards. Then he rewrote them. Then he made backup note cards in case the first ones failed morally. On Friday morning, his son Eric called from Cincinnati. Dad, Mavis told Mrs. Palmer. Mrs. Palmer told Aunt Helen, and Aunt Helen told me you're hosting the church festival. Mavis should not have access to communication systems. Eric laughed. You'll be great. I have 7 note cards. That means you care. I have backup note cards. That means you're still you. I also practiced pronouncing the banjo player's last name. That means you're prepared. He practiced that afternoon in the hallway mirror. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Autumn Fellowship Festival. Too stiff. Hello, friends and neighbors. Too cheerful. He looked like a man trying to sell miracle weed killer. Thank you all for coming tonight. Too vague. Coming where? Why? Under what emotional terms? By the 6th attempt, he had introduced himself twice, thanked the umbrella stand, and nodded respectfully at the thermostat. At that point, he decided the house had heard enough. Mavis arrived at 5:40 in a plum-colored sweater and earrings shaped like tiny acorns. You look distinguished, she said. You look administrative, Stanley replied. That's because I am. That's what worries me. The social hall was already full when they arrived. Long tables draped in orange and brown paper cloths filled the room. Mason jars with battery candles sat beside mini pumpkins and bunches of fake leaves. Raffle baskets gleamed under taut cellophane. Crock-pots lined the back wall beside green beans, baked beans, casseroles, cornbread, macaroni, slaw, pies, cobblers, cakes, and 2 gelatin dishes Stanley did not trust on visual principle. The room smelled like coffee, cinnamon, gravy, and concentrated public effort. Retirees in cardigans occupied the front tables. Children in sweaters darted between chairs. Widowers in sports coats stood near the coffee urn, discussing weather with the seriousness of men who believed clouds should answer to local government. Mrs. Renshaw guarded the pie table with the poised vigilance of a museum curator defending national treasure. Mavis handed Stanley the microphone backstage. Why is this so heavy? He whispered. Because it contains responsibility. It contains batteries and pressure. She patted his sleeve and vanished into volunteer motion, which mostly involved brisk walking and paper. Stanley stepped onto the stage. The room settled. He adjusted the microphone. It squealed sharply. Half the audience jumped. Well, he said, that certainly sped up introductions. The room laughed. Interesting, he thought. He cleared his throat. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Larkspur Hollow Autumn Fellowship Festival, the only event in town where you can admire decorative pumpkins, win a raffle basket, and disagree privately about sweet potatoes before dessert. The laughter came warm and immediate. My name is Stanley Mercer, and I'm your host tonight because the original MC apparently received a stronger competing offer involving family, travel, and a healthier relationship with microphones. Now the room was with him, not wildly, not theatrically, but comfortably. He introduced the opening act, a local fiddle and guitar duo called Willow Branch, who played old-time songs with cheerful energy and exactly the kind of timing that makes people clap before the tune is fully over. Afterwards, Stanley returned to the microphone and said, "Let's hear it again for Willow Branch," proving that in Indiana, nostalgia still has good rhythm. The audience laughed and applauded again. For the first hour, things went smoothly. There was music, supper, a short prayer, and the gentle movement of people pretending not to calculate how quickly they could reach the dessert table without appearing obvious. Stanley relaxed. He even improvised a line while introducing the raffle baskets. Please remember, enthusiasm is welcome, but this remains a fundraiser, not a border conflict. That got a solid laugh. Then Mavis rushed to the side of the stage with the expression of a woman who had discovered once again that planning was mostly a hobby. "We have a problem," she whispered. Stanley stared at her. That phrase is getting far too much exercise. "The raffle tickets are missing." He blinked. "The sold tickets?" "Yes. You sold tickets and then lost them? We still have the baskets." "That is not the stabilizing detail you think it is. I need 10 minutes. "With what?" "Talk. Ask the audience something. You're doing well." Then she vanished, which Stanley was beginning to understand was her preferred management style. He stepped back to the microphone. "Ladies and gentlemen, while several competent adults search for the missing raffle tickets in a room containing no wilderness, I thought I'd ask an important question. How many of you have ever lost something